Hi. So one of the things that I like to do, is some artwork based on the Lunar New Year when it rolls around every year. This year it happens to be the year of the rat, so it's 2020, and we like to celebrate kind of with some of the the symbols of Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, and the dragon is one of my favorite things to draw with the kids. And this is my simple trick for my younger students to start off a dragon. I take my hand, I put my 3 middle fingers together, and what I'm going to do, this is going to become my dragon's face. So wherever I put my hand, the dragon's going to be facing, and I tend to put it near the edge of the paper so that I have room for the details of the body. So I'm going to put my hand here, I'm going to put my pinky down. Sometimes it's hard for kids to do this, and I just kind of go like this, and I just gently move my fingers, and I put my thumb out. Now I'm going to make the thumb the top of my head, so I'm making it near the top of my paper, and this is going to be like my nose. And I'm going to carefully, slowly trace around my pinky, around these 3 fingers. I don't have to touch. I'm being careful so I don't end up with Sharpie all over me. And I stop right about there. Now what I have here, because I have quite large hands, is this becomes the horns. In kind of the legend of the dragon, it's made up of a lot of different animals. So some of the different components in different dragons are horns based on like a goat. And then I make my nose down here. I make my eye here. And then I add teeth. And it always looks very friendly till I add the teeth. And that's one of the difference between kind of a Western dragon and an Eastern dragon too. Eastern dragons they bring good luck. They're part of the celebrations for the new year, but they can still have lovely sharp teeth, which most of my students enjoy. So you can kind of create the eyes. Another animal that's part of the dragon imagery kind of is the lion. So they kind of have like a mane. I'm just making a zigzag line. Sometimes they'll have a beard. And then just to make these look more like horns and less like ears, sometimes I'll kind of give them a pattern like this. But that could be ears too. Dragons are imaginary animals, so really you can do whatever you want. And in the legends of Chinese dragons, they often are flying through the sky, but they generally don't have wings. So they have this lovely serpentine shape to their bodies a lot, like a snake. That's a great word. I love the word serpentine. So I start with a line towards the top, and I'm just going to curve it around and use some of this space that I have left. And I've got a line which isn't a very good body, so I need to have some thickness. So I'm going to start near the bottom. And I start off having it pretty wide. And then as I get further and further away from the body and closer to the tail, I bring it together. So now I have a lovely serpentine body. One of the fun things is that a lot of them have this kind of flame shape on the tail. I do a curve, a little U, a curve, a little U to make the flame. And many of them have spikes going down the back. They can have spikes along the bottom if you want. Sometimes as they curve around and you see the underbelly, it kind of looks like a snake belly. And you don't have to worry about legs if you don't want to. A lot of them have almost like bird claws on them. And you'll notice that for my color, I'm using red. That is the lucky color for the Lunar New Year. People tend to wear red clothes, hang up red lanterns. Red is the lucky color, so I like to use red for this project and make a red dragon. I'm going to make these smaller, so you can kind of make any kind of patterns. And another thing that you see, I'm going to turn it this way, make the letter U, and I make these big because this is a big space, so if I'm making tiny little scales this big, it would take me forever. So I make big letter U's. So So I only need 3 or 4 to get across my dragon and give it some scales. Can I work my way across? Okay, and I could kind of keep going, have them get smaller and smaller, or end wherever I want. You can think about patterns. I've had kids make nice polka dots or stripes. So I've got stripes, some polka dots, some scales. I could add some nice lines, lots of nice pattern. And it all started with, oh, you can tell I was using my other hand. I am left-handed. My hand just shaped like that, which is a nice personal touch too, to have your handprint in there. Oh, and one of the last things that I like to do, we talk about one of the differences is the written language. So I like to sign mine and give it more of an Asian feel and take the letters of my name. I'm using my daughter's name, Eliza. And I stack them up vertically because in China and Japan and many countries in Asia, their writing is actually vertical. And then I like to make it look like a chopper seal by just putting a rectangle around it, making it look a little fancier. And the ink that they use for their signatures is often red too. And then maybe over here, since we are doing this for the new year, I'll stack up the year, 2020, year of the rat. And there we go.